Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group. Today's video is titled VoIP Simultaneous Ring Feature Explained. Again, that is Voice over IP Simultaneous Ring Feature Explained. Now, before we get into this video, for those of you who may or may not know, we did another video called VoIP Call Forwarding Feature Explained. I will make a link in the video and in the description below to that video, because this feature is very different from call forwarding. So again, to reiterate, this video is about VoIP Simultaneous Ring Feature Explained. VoIP Call Forwarding is a different thing. Same concept, kind of, sort of, but there's still two different features. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly what simultaneous ring is, and you'll understand why if you watch both videos separately. So anyways, first of all, simultaneous ring is one of my personal favorite features. Most all of the voice over IP providers at the time of this video include this feature as a free function included in the package. No matter how many phones or what base package you're on, whether you're on a basic hosted voice over IP business plan with one extension, or you're somebody that's on an advanced plan with all kinds of bells and whistles with 100 phones, you have this feature. Whether you choose to use it or not is up to you. In my opinion, this feature is better than call forwarding, and you'll understand why when I explain it, especially again if you watch both videos, because I go over the pros and cons of simultaneous ring in this video, and in the call forwarding video, I go over the pros and cons of call forwarding in that video. So if you look at them side by side, apples to apples, you may like this feature a little bit better, and you may also understand why I prefer this feature, and it's one of my favorite features. So, what is simultaneous ring? Simultaneous ring is a voice over IP feature that allows the ability for you to ring one or more phones in simultaneously with your extension as well. So what does this mean? We'll use me as an example. So on my phone system, I have simultaneous ring set up because I have two phones. My main extension is a Polycom VVX300, which is a desk phone that sits on a desk like you would see in a call center. When someone calls the office and calls my extension, that phone rings. I also have a Link cordless phone that I use for mobility. That phone rings at the same time. And I also have my simultaneous ring set up to also ring my personal cell phone, which is an iPhone, at the same time. What this means is that it gives me the ability to potentially be reached when the phone is ringing in multiple locations. The way that my house is set up, my home office is set up, is I'm in my office right now in my home office, in my house, that is on the whole other side of the house than my master bedroom. I keep my cordless Link voice over IP phone in my office here. In my master bedroom, I have another desk and another computer that also has my Polycom VVX call center style desk phone. Then I have my cell phone. What does this mean? It means when the phone rings with my simultaneous ring feature activated, it means that my phone in my master bedroom rings. It means my cordless phone in my office rings, or my cordless phone that may be on me. I could be out sitting on the porch or walking around the lot, walking around the yard. Or it means that my cell phone rings if I'm out in town running errands or out, in a cab or in the car or something like that, it would ring. This means that it basically gives me the ability to be reached on multiple phones at the same time, no matter where I am, essentially. So let's see here. How does this differ from call forwarding, and why do I like this feature? One of the things that I want to point out is the big difference with call forwarding is you forward calls outside of the system, which means if somebody gets your voicemail, it means they don't get your business voicemail, they get your personal voicemail. Simultaneous ring is different. Simultaneous ring means that your carrier still has a hold of that call and still has control of the call, so that if you don't answer, they pull the call back into the system and it gets your personal voicemail. My apologies. It gets your business voicemail. You've reached Prince Rich at Rich Technology Group. I'm sorry I couldn't take your call. If this is in regards to phone or internet service needs in the United States, leave me a message and I'd love to help you. versus my "you've reached Prince Rich's personal cell phone. I don't really feel like doing anything. I hope this isn't a business call because I don't like getting business calls on my personal cell phone. Have a nice day." So it's a way for you to basically simultaneously ring another phone line that is not necessarily your office phone. It could be a home phone, it could be your cell phone, but still, if you don't answer, you can still bring the call can still be brought back into your personal, into your business voicemail system, so that you get business voicemails in your business voicemail box where everybody prefers they go. Let's see here. Oh, one other thing I want to throw out there about simultaneous ring is, depending on how many phones you have it set to simultaneous ring or how you have it set up, when you answer the phone on whatever phone you answer it on, all of the other phones stop ringing. So for example, when a phone call comes in for me and it simultaneously rings on my office phone in my master bedroom, my cordless office phone in my actual physical office that I'm in right now, or on my cell phone that I might have in my pocket while I'm out and about in town, if I pick it up on my cell phone, it stops ringing on my two voice over IP phones in the two separate places in my office. If I pick it up on my cordless phone, it stops ringing on my cell phone and on my office phone in my master bedroom. The other really nice thing that I want to throw out there too about simultaneous ring is which makes it a little more valuable for data than call forwarding. When a call gets forwarded from your system into another phone system, it's being automatically forwarded, so you don't get any caller ID notification on your office phone. With simultaneous ring, you'll get caller ID notification that there was a call that came in on every single phone that you have configured to be simultaneously rung. So that's also really nice too, because it means if you come back in the office or whatever, and the first thing you see is your cell phone, you see that caller ID, or the first thing you see is your office phone, you still see that someone called in and you still get that caller ID data. Whereas with a forward, it just gets forwarded out of the system and the system doesn't have any data on the external caller ID for your phones. Here's some pros that I want to cover about simultaneous ring, and then we'll get into some of the cons. As I mentioned before, I have on here ability to have all known numbers or extensions ring you to allow to give you a chance to answer. The beauty of that is, as I mentioned before, it's almost like an ability to have yourself be followed, because you know that you'll always either have your cell phone or one or more of your office phones nearby when you're around and about. So if you're somebody who's on the go, or you tend to have a really busy life or schedule, this gives you the ability to be more easily found. Now, well, we'll get into the cons later because that has a con to it, but that's for later. One of the other pros is if calls go unanswered, unlike call forwarding, the calls go to your professional voicemail, not to your personal voicemail or personal cell phone voicemail that you may have completely forwarded the calls to. So again, I want to reiterate, on a simultaneous ring, if you don't answer, the carrier still has some control over that call, and they grab the call and pull it back so that it gets sent to the voicemail within your phone system, not to the voicemail on the numbers that it's simultaneously rung. You could have a simultaneous, I'll give you guys a great example. I've had some customers in the past where, they got injured or they had a medical situation come up where they were in the hospital for a week or a couple of weeks, but they weren't in such bad condition where they couldn't answer phone calls. They still had their laptop and were still in the hospital's Wi-Fi, but they're in the hospital being cared for, so they can't physically be in the office. But they could actually send a simultaneous ring to the number, to the direct inward dial number that the hospital has for them for the phone that is in their room next to their bed and their heart monitor and all that stuff. Obviously, if you don't answer the phone, you don't want for that call to go to the voicemail on the hospital's voicemail or go to the hospital receptionist or something like that. You want that call to be grabbed if you don't answer it on that phone call that's being simultaneously rung on your hospital phone, and it will get grabbed if you don't answer and go back to your professional voicemail on your extension or within your phone system for your corporation or for the organization that you may run, own, or work for. And that's really important for a lot of people. Let's see here. Pro number 3. I think the biggest pro that most people love about Simultaneous Ring, and that I personally like about Simultaneous Ring, which is why it's one of my favorite features, I don't have to give out my personal cell phone number. I never, ever, ever give out my personal cell phone number to customers because I don't have to. Because if they need me, they call my office number, they dial my extension or dial, one in my auto attendant, and it rings my desk phones as well as my cell phone. If I don't answer, it just goes back to my voicemail, and then I call them at my earliest convenience. But I don't have to give out my personal cell phone number. Now, for me, it's not a huge big deal, but I've worked with many, many, many industries over the years, and I can tell you, one of the biggest companies that I work with, or the biggest industries that I work with, that does not like to give out their personal cell phone number is the legal industry. People that practice law or that are attorneys or lawyers or whatever it may be, or paralegals. They don't like to give out their personal cell phones to their clients or to their contacts. So this is a very, very valuable feature for any business that, for whatever reasons it may be, personal preference reasons or legal reasons, you just don't want to give out your personal cell phone to your clients. Simultaneous Ring is the feature for you. And again, it's a free feature with most every voice over IP carrier at the time of this video. Okay, so let's hop into the cons of Simultaneous Ring. Con number one, if you have a Simultaneous Ring going to your cellular phone, if your cell phone is out of area or your cell phone is off, meaning you have turned it off or the battery is dead, the call will automatically go to the voicemail on your cell phone. So be very mindful of this. There's nothing you can do about this because the carriers cannot control. Everybody knows what happens if a cell phone is out of area or is turned off or the battery is dead. Everybody knows that this day and age, if you call the phone number, if you call that person's cell phone, it just goes straight to voicemail. What this means is that when the Simultaneous Ring feature within your hosted voice over IP phone service provider tries to ring that cell phone, before they can pull that call back to their voicemail, the carrier has already grabbed it and sent it straight to the carrier's voicemail, i.e. AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon Wireless, Sprint, the list goes on and on and on. So just be mindful that if you use Simultaneous Ring, if your cell phone is off or the battery is dead or you are out of area, meaning no service, your call will go straight to your cell phone's voicemail when the voice over IP carrier attempts to simultaneously ring your cellular phone. So just be mindful of that. Con number two, this is a function that even though I personally love it, and I think I've mentioned that 3 times in this video, many people don't like this function. A lot of people find Simultaneous Ring to be annoying. Why? Because some people just don't want to be rung on their cell phone or on their landline at their home, when they're away from work. Some people, when they're out of the office or away from work, they really want to be away from work. And I get that. So understand that Simultaneous Ring is probably not the best feature for you if you're somebody that when you're done working for the day and you don't want to be bothered, like if you go on your lunch break, you don't want to be bothered with simultaneous ringing on your cell phone from the office, then this feature may not be the feature for you. Let's see here. Con number 3, and this kind of plays into con number 2. Simultaneous Ring cannot be enabled directly from your desk phone. Simultaneous Ring with pretty much every carrier at the time of this video is a feature that has to be set up in the administrative end of your phone system, meaning you have to log into the online portal for said hosted phone system, i.e. Vonage Business, Nextiva, Ring Central, OnSIP, the list goes on and on and on of the ones that we represent and promote. You have to log into their portal and you have to actually enable and disable this and specify what number or numbers to simultaneously ring. This means that if you want to disable it, you can't do it from your physical desk phone like you can with call forwarding. You have to actually log into the back end and do this. Now, I'm not saying this is a difficult thing. It just means you have less options and ways to disable it. So it's not as easy and quick to disable as, say, being able to walk up to your phone and just disable it. You have to actually log into a portal and know where you're going and actually go in and disable and enable this when you want to. One thing I do want to point out that kind of helps negate con number 3 is if you are using a mobile app with your provider. And pretty much all of the providers at the time of this video offer a mobile app. All of them do, which, by the way, shameless plug for Nextiva and Vonage Business, who have two of the most powerful mobile apps that we've seen on the market. You can enable and disable simultaneous ring and call forwarding on the mobile app on your cell phone on the fly with just the flick of a digital switch on your screen. So that kind of helps negate con number 3 a little bit. But anywho, some things to remember and some closing statements on this video. Number 1, best way to have your calls ring multiple extensions and devices or numbers is to use simultaneous ring. Call forwarding will only forward to one number. That's it. So if you want to be able to have the ability to ring multiple numbers, like multiple phones that you may have in the office, like as if you're in a big office and you go to different departments, or ring multiple cell phones. Maybe you got multiple cell phones. I don't know. Maybe you work 2 separate jobs and you got 2 different cell phones. Simultaneous ring will give you the ability to do that across multiple phones, whereas call forwarding forwards to a single number, and that is it. The other thing is, again, in my opinion, it's better than call forwarding, because with call forwarding, you're always forwarding the calls outside of the system. Once a call is forwarded with call forwarding, it has left your phone system, i.e. Vonage, Nextiva, RingCentral, whatever. It means that not only do they not have any more control over that phone call anymore, it means that you don't have any access to any of the functions and features within that phone system anymore, like music on hold, call transfer, conference calling, do not disturb, things like that. You've lost all the function of your phone system because it's forwarded out. With simultaneous ring, depending on how you set it up and the number you're simultaneously ringing and that you've answered it on, you still have somewhat semi-control of function and feature from your hosted voice over IP carrier. Let's see here. Again, another one thing I want to just throw out there as a reminder: if you are simultaneously, if you have your simultaneous ring set to go to a cell phone, keep in mind, if your cell phone goes out of area or gets cut off, whether because you cut it off manually or battery loss, your calls will automatically go to voicemail, and they will not go to the voicemail within your voice over IP phone system, i.e. your professional voicemail. They will go to the voicemail on your cell phone. Not the end of the world, but just something to be mindful of. Let's see here. And the final point that I wanted to mention is this feature with almost every voice over IP phone service provider is included in the bundle, even regardless of how big or how basic your phone system package or plan is. It's just a feature that's already included in there and available for you to use at your disposal, whether you choose to use it or not. And it is a free feature with just about every legitimate hosted voice over IP carrier on the market at this time. So anyways, that concludes the video. Simultaneous, the voice over IP feature simultaneous ring explained. If you're watching this video and you find this feature useful and you'd like to find out what service providers offer this feature, as well as would like my help with helping you find the best deals for and the best phone system for your business, call me, Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. I'll talk to you guys again in the next video.